A big updates here in the Cardano ecosystem following the recent filing for a Cardano-based ETF coming in here from Grayyscale. We've got updates coming in from Charles Hoskinson and his highly anticipated VIP dinner. We've got news coming in here from some of the synthetics protocols, World Mobile touching on DePIN, and so much more. Without any further ado, let's jump on in. What's up, ADA Nation? Welcome into Dapp Central, your home for everything blockchain and crypto. I'm your host here, Fareed. As a part of today's video, we're diving into the Cardano ecosystem following the recent filing by Grayyscale for a Cardano Trust or a Cardano ETF. In addition, we've got updates surrounding Charles's highly anticipated VIP dinner, and I want to break down some of that news there, in addition to touching on some of the biggest projects here in the ecosystem, which of course include World Mobile. We'll be briefly touching on Indigo, FarmRoll, Metera, Tokeo, and Wanchain, just to name a few. Now, before we go any further, if it's your first time stopping by the channel, my goal is to help you find your footing here within the Cardano and Bitcoin ecosystems. If you appreciate content just like this, I would appreciate you if you could smash that thumbs up. If you want more, consider subscribing to the channel. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to voice off down in the comment section below. Now, if you'd like to extend your support for the channel even further, consider delegating with either the two Dapp Central stake pools, which share the stake pool ticker, a DAPP. All right, diving right on in, we've got the updates. And this is for the filing that, if you've missed it, was just submitted by Grayyscale for the first ever Cardano only trust. And so, of course, we've seen Cardano included in a couple of their other ETFs. This would be the first of its kind, solely backed by ADA, making it that much easier for people to jump in from an institutional perspective into the Cardano investment or into the Cardano ecosystem. Again, I won't harp on this too much. I released a video on this yesterday. Make sure to go ahead and check that out if you've missed it. Of course, Cardano here on the charts, reacting positively to that news. Unfortunately, Bitcoin in the last 2 or so hours is down, of course, taking Cardano down with it. But Cardano ADA was up roughly around 11 to 12% in the last 24-hour session. Of course, again, we've had a minor pullback as Bitcoin continues to be range bound between the $90,000 range as the sort of support region and the $108,000 to $109,000 range as the resistance or the top there. Moving over, we've got updates as it pertains to the weekly development report. And so this is released by the, I want to say it's Cardano Foundation every single week, but we've got some benchmarks for the new node version, which is 10.2, which had been released. We've got an upgraded version of Hydra, which has also been released. There continues to be work ongoing for the Plutus primitives and language constructs. And then with funding round number 13 officially onboarded, or projects being onboarded, they continue to work out through their catalyst milestones. Jumping over, if you've missed it, Charles Hoskinson teased his upcoming VIP dinner. We have yet to figure out who that VIP guest is, but I think we are extremely close if we haven't actually figured it out here through a very nice correlation coming in here from Stake with Pride. So Charles mentions, my VIP dinner has now been moved from the 22nd of February to the 1st of March. So the super important meeting is now taking place next month. Now, we have a question here from Houston asking about what's going to be on the menu. Funny enough, Charles mentions Diet Coke will certainly be on the menu, and Stake with Pride putting on his detective glasses here, confirming that Elon Musk is a massive fan of Diet Coke. We've got a picture of his bedside table there. Of course, we know that there's some sort of relationship between the two guys, but this could be the confirmation that Charles will be meeting with Elon. And of course, Elon has deeper and deeper ties with Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency, and of course, his pull with the Doge token and potential integrations and support for crypto and blockchain-based assets. So again, you guys do with that what you will. The next piece I want to briefly dive into is a tease, and this is for the Lace wallet, which we're expecting for the mobile release to be coming very soon. So let me quickly share that with you guys here. And what I love about this is how sleek of a design this looks like. So I'm excited to see this here. Of course, if you haven't already downloaded Lace, you can do that. I'll leave the link to it down below. But if you've also been within the Nami wallet, there's now an upgrade that you have to go through in order to migrate into the Lace interface. So do keep that in mind here. But from a visual standpoint here, this is very impressive, seems very intuitive, very sleek, and very responsive. And so again, I'm really excited to see when this comes out. We don't have any official dates just yet, but it is one of their most anticipated features here, bringing mobile adoption for Cardano native assets or for Cardano wallet support. Now we're going to be talking a little bit more about Tokeo, which they're also a wallet. So if you haven't already tried something on mobile, that's also an option there for you as Lace gets ready to roll out here on their platform. Now, before we dive into project specific updates, I want to briefly highlight this Cardano X Draper University Founder Residency Program. Shout out to Patrick from Endmaker who actually put this on my radar. But if you want to provide your information, you can sign up for a program if you're a Cardano builder where they're actually going to fly you out to Silicon Valley. They've got accommodations handled. And I believe there's a 42,000 ADA reward or grant that's awarded to people that sign up and actually enroll or are selected to participate in the program. But the deadline for applications is March 3rd of 2025, with the selection process taking place on March 10th, final offers being made 5 days later, and then the program kicking off at the very end of March. In terms of people that you can hear or that you can expect to see there, of course, we've got Tim Draper, the actual founder of the university. We've got David Sachs, who, if I'm not mistaken, is part of the working group for Trump's crypto executive order. And then we've got a couple of other members, which are all listed here as well. Now it states why join. Again, this is a 5-week residency taking place in Silicon Valley, California. They're going to take care of your travels. They're going to provide you with the technical and growth sessions. They'll also be open to fundraising strategies. They'll help you work on your pitch deck and how you can sort of pitch your particular product. And then, of course, there's going to be a demo day at the very end there. And as I mentioned, they will be handling accommodations if that's one of your concerns when it comes to applying for that program. That'll do it there for general ecosystem updates. Next, we've got updates coming in here from a World Mobile. So as it currently stands, we've got a total of 13,000 air nodes. In terms of data consumption over the last 24 hours, that's currently chilling at over 513 terabytes of data, with nearly 1.4 million users connecting, with the network up for over 1,000 days. Now, this network is about to expand given the fact that they've now onboarded or partnered up with DITO, which is a telecoms provider within Philippines. So it states here, this isn't just a partnership, it's a revolution, expanding their coverage with World Mobile Air Nodes, unlocking DeFi or decentralized finance with DTACA on the World Mobile chain. So it sounds like they're going to be onboarding a platform or a protocol or project onto the World Mobile ecosystem or onto the World Mobile chain. And then they'll be connecting remote areas via Starlink using their satellite backhauls. Of course, again, we've got a brief word here from Mickey Watkins, their founder and CEO, who mentions this particular partnership with DITO represents a significant milestone in our mission to democratize access to connectivity across the globe. We also got a brief word here from the DITO founder or the chairman, whose name is Donald Lim, stating our collaboration with World Mobile is a testament to our commitment to innovation and inclusivity. By integrating blockchain tech and extending connectivity to rural sectors, we're transforming the telecommunications landscape in the Philippines and beyond. So they've already got 13 million plus users who are now going to be migrating or coming on chain into the World Mobile network. And I think they're really going to be one of the biggest networks here moving forward. So keep an eye out on them. Again, right now, in terms of daily active users, over 1.4 million users diving into their ecosystem. Now, as we get ready to wind things down here, there's a brief word coming in here from Charles Barnett, one of their founders here as well, talking about the fact that they're deploying nearly 2,000 air nodes per month. And they're now also deploying fibers directly into homes in Pakistan. So I'm going to play this very briefly here, and then we're going to close out by briefly touching on their Spark Node sale, which takes place on February 12th, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, I'll break down those details here in just a moment. So without any further ado, let's listen in here to Charles Barnett.
On the ground right now in Pakistan, we have air nodes being rolled out at a rate of about 2,000 nodes a month. We are extending the WorldCall fiber network into people's homes directly, which are being funded by the World Mobile AirNode community.
Great news and bullish as always on what World Mobile is doing in terms of deepen and connecting the unconnected. So as we get ready to wind up this particular update here, if you've missed it, they've got an additional round of the Spark Air nodes coming up for sale. So it states after 2 record-breaking sellouts, we're giving you another shot at securing your own Spark Air node before their public sale opens. And this will be taking place on Wednesday, February 12th at 1800 UTC. If you want to find out more, you can head over to join.worldmobile.io. That will wrap it up there for updates surrounding World Mobile. Next, we've got a brief update here surrounding Indigo, who is a synthetics protocol building here in the Cardano ecosystem, stating that they've now been listed, or they've listed a brand new ETN product with the ticker YADA on the Finikia FTSE. And so this is a publicly traded product which will give TradFi institutional adopters an ADA and an ADA DeFi yield exposure through the Indigo I assets, which include IBTC, IETH, and IUSD. Now, shout out to the team from Tap Tools here for their breakdown, but it states that this particular ETN allows investors to gain secure exposure to ADA while still benefiting from the DeFi generated yield through Indigo's synthetic assets, which of course include IBTC, IETH, and IUSD. By offering a regulated institutional grade investment vehicle, this ETN opens new opportunities for traditional investors who seek exposure to ADA without directly holding or managing crypto assets. In closing, the launch signals the growing confidence in Cardano's financial infrastructure, paving the way for broader adoption in the traditional markets. This is literally the same exact emphasis that we're seeing here when it comes to adoption and institutional access, with the recent filing being done by Grayyscale. So I love to see this here, projects being proactive, looking for ways to get ADA-based products out into institutional grade or institutional level platforms. Now, just briefly highlighting here, if you're not familiar with what an ETN is, because I personally had to look it up, it states that an ETN is an unsecured debt obligation issued by a financial institution, typically banks, and that ETNs are not backed by collateral. Now, in contrast to ETFs or exchange traded products or exchange traded funds, right, where ETN stands for exchange traded notes, the ETFs are essentially baskets of securities such as stocks, bonds, or commodities, and ETFs are legally separate from the company that manages them. And so there's also a nice little piece there about how they're treated from a tax perspective. But I wanted to break down the difference between the ETN and the ETF here as well. In closing, taking a look at the official website here, which is finikia.com. I'll leave the link to that down below. We can see that this is providing a yield of 7%. And then we can see that in terms of total net assets, there's over 24 million euros worth of assets as of February 10th of 2025. Again, it breaks down here in the description what this essentially does in the exposure that it gives you to Cardano and the yield generated through the Indigo Synthetics protocol. That'll do it there for updates around that team. Of course, again, congrats to the Indigo team for being, the trendsetters and embarking on new trails here in the ecosystem. Now, the next project I want to briefly highlight is called FarmRoll, and they just had their IDO, or their initial DEX offering, complete, where they raised nearly 1.15 million ADA, I believe. We're going to dive into the specifics here in just a moment through the MinSwap launch bowl, or through the MinSwap launch pad. Now, what's cool about this platform is that it's essentially a platform where they can gamify other communities or other protocols or projects. So they've got a questing feature, which allows for onboarded projects to create quests, which, for example, might be similar to following them on X, holding a certain amount of tokens, or just doing some sort of activity that can be verified through the FarmRoll platform. And then they also have the ability to create AI agents, which has really been taking off here in the Cardano ecosystem, but just in general, right? Taking a look at X has now integrated AI agents. Twitter, that is X, Facebook has integrated them. Instagram has integrated them. And then we've also got crypto or Web3 based AI agents here as well. So a pretty interesting offer. And then last but not least, they have a engagement economy, which empowers creators by transforming FarmRoll points into RWAs or real world assets. So I'll have to definitely dig into that as a creator here to see what sort of value I can provide to them. But a really cool platform that I want to take the opportunity to briefly highlight. So their roll token or their roll IDO has just completed there. And again, it looks like they've raised, I want to say it was 1.4 or 1.5 million ADA. But just looking into the future here, we've got the launch of the token, which is now, of course, done. They've got integrations coming up with Discord, Telegram, TikTok, and Instagram. They'll also be diving into picture or visual generating capabilities for their AI agents, as well as on-chain activity, stake pool launch, an automated quest and agent creation feature. And then they'll also be diving into voice generation AI agents, as well as a reputation system. So congrats to that particular team. Looking forward to seeing what they're able to provide to the Cardano ecosystem. Continuing along with IDOs, we have the ZEKE IDO for the Profila privacy platform. And so that has just kicked off here. It started on the 10th of February, and I believe it's going to be lasting, let's see here, for another 4 or so days. So it'll be ending on Valentine's Day, or February 14th at roughly 1700 GMT. As it currently stands, they've raised 1.23K ADA, so 100,000 ADA, so still relatively early with nearly 60 participants, which is roughly about 12% of their total amount that they need to raise. Now, just diving into Profila, it states that they're an exchange platform where you can exchange your data, engage with brands, and you can do all of that in order to receive their ZEKE or their native token. Now, this is to essentially monetize your data, your attention. And again, this is all being done with your privacy in mind, where you have the ability to identify what you want to share and what you don't want to share. Now, in terms of how this actually works, it states that you can go ahead and actually create your own personal data profile with their platform. And then you have the ability to self-discover surveys that build on your psychographic profile. And then once you've got that done, it looks like you can invite your friends and family. And then, of course, throughout that entire process, it's up to you to decide or to decipher how you want to share or how you want to exchange your information with the different brands and platforms that have been onboarded into their ecosystem. Next, we've got a brief set of updates here for the Metera protocol, an index platform building here on Cardano. They're on their V2 version of their testnet, but they've introduced their DPIN index, which is composed of Nuvula, World Mobile, Iagon, and Dedium, by far the biggest DPIN protocols here in the ecosystem. They've also announced their DeFi index, which is inclusive of LenFi, Fluid Tokens, Liquid, Sunday, MinSwap Labs, Dex Hunter, and Indigo. And one thing that I really like about this here is the fact that they've included the DEXs, which typically people don't consider those as DeFi, but we definitely do realize and see the value that they provide in the fact that they're sort of the gateway or the entry point into any other asset in the ecosystem. So obviously really positive to see the fact that they're growing out their different indexes or indices. And I believe they may have a meme index on the horizon or coming out hopefully very soon. Now, if you've missed it, the Dapp Central Stake Pool was a part of their IPO. I'm going to be releasing an update extremely shortly about how you can claim or what the plans are for claiming your IPO rewards. But keep in mind that the Metera Stake Pool has officially closed. So if you are still delegating to that IPO, you can go ahead and move your funds to any other stake pool. Of course, I'm going to plug in the Dapp Central Stake Pool. You're always welcome to come in and join the Dapp Central community. Now, in closing, they've also released a brand new roadmap for the quarters within 2025, where they've already got their DAO, which is set up and being run through the Clarity DAO platform. As a part of Q1, we're expecting the launch on the mainnet and their token generation event. They'll also be distributing their IPO rewards. Again, stay tuned for that because that's where delegators to the Dapp Central Stake Pool will be earning their rewards. And then moving over into Q2, they'll be focusing or targeting institutional investors and then rolling out more structure around governance. And then rolling into the second half of the year, there's going to be a focus on their community indexes, a mobile app design, and then potential expansions into cross-chain capabilities. Next, and as we get ready to close things down here, we've got updates coming in here from the Tokeo Pay team. So their support and integrations for Bitcoin is now live, both on iOS and Android. We were just talking about the Lace team earlier. This is what we want to see, not just a mobile wallet, but a mobile wallet that goes cross-chain. So if you are a Bitcoin holder and you're in the Cardano community, Tokeo may be the wallet for you if you have not already checked it out. I've done an interview with Zash, Guido, and Magic Flow. Check those out here on the channel. But moving forward, Android and Apple users can now send and receive BTC directly within the Tokeo Pay wallet. They can also send runes and ordinals. So NFTs and FTs, or fungible assets, right, in the Bitcoin ecosystem are known as runes and ordinals. So you can basically send Bitcoin native assets in addition to Bitcoin itself through the Tokeo Pay wallet. And then last but not least, they've got access, or they've added support for access in terms of charts for runes and Bitcoin. It states up next, in-app runes trading on iOS and Android. So the ability to actually trade them directly from within their application, not just send and receive. Now, there's also some additional updates here. And so this is a brief one, but an important one nonetheless from a security perspective. They've also now integrated their verified token flag, or verified token badge, powered by Dex Hunter if you're trading any Cardano native asset within their wallet. Continuing on, they've now also expanded and partnered up with the .swap platform, which is a DEX in the Bitcoin ecosystem. Taking a look at their platform here again, a BTC native DEX, very similar to MintSwap, SundaySwap, ViFi that we've all come to know and love in the Cardano ecosystem. Jumping briefly into their Explore page, we can see their TVL, their 24-hour volume, the number of transactions, and all of that good stuff here in terms of assets that can be swapped from their platform. And next, we've got the fact that the Tokeo team has now also partnered up with One Analog, where they have their TGE kicking off today. And if you just aren't familiar with One Analog, they're a layer 0 platform that allows for building apps that can then be deployed cross-chain without having to redo, or without having to build your app on multiple different protocols. So in terms of networks that they currently support, that includes Polygon, ETH, Arbitrum, Avalanche, BNB, and Base. Of course, we'd love to see Cardano support coming in very soon, but it talks about effortlessly building and integrating your apps, enabling endless or limitless possibilities. Now, as we are to close things down here, we've got one last update coming in here from Wanchain, which they mentioned Solana versus Cardano, where the Solana ecosystem continues to make fun of Cardano and the fact that we've got no users, or the fact that we're a ghost chain. And then, of course, from the Cardano perspective, us always highlighting the fact that Solana is essentially just a meme coin platform or a casino. But Wanchain is aiming to bridge the gap. So it looks like there's going to be ADA on Solana, and there's also now going to be Solana on Cardano. This is all being done through their Wanchain bridge, which, of course, if you aren't familiar with, is by far one of the most secure and one of the most encompassing bridges here. We've already seen them bringing many stable coins into the ecosystem, and also taking Cardano native assets and bringing those into other ecosystems, for example, like Base, like ETH, and even the Binance Smart Chain. In closing, they've also released their Wanchain dashboard, which is not just pretty, but it does a really good job here of breaking down how much traffic has now been going through their platform. Not only do they support native assets or tokens or fungible assets, they also even allow for NFT bridging, which is all captured here within their dashboard. So make sure to check this out. They've got a breakdown of exactly what's being transferred where, the time, the value, the amount, and the to and from addresses here as well. So from a transparency perspective, this is exactly what you want to see. That will bring me there to the end for today's update. A big one, breaking down everything going on here in the Cardano ecosystem. If you found any of this to be helpful, I would appreciate you if you could smash that thumbs up. If you want more content just like this, consider subscribing to the channel. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave those down below. That said, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.